Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by OnPay, Atlanta's new standard in payroll. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. But before we get started, it's important to recognize our sponsor, OnPay. Without them, we couldn't be sharing these important stories. Today on Atlanta Business Radio, we have Joe Ashkouti with Yieldi. Welcome, Joe.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Yieldi. How you serving folks?
So Yieldi is a private lender. We have set it up as a technology company. So we formed a marketplace to bring investors and to bring borrowers together. So we underwrite all of our deals. They're all asset-based, real estate-backed, and we put them up on the marketplace. We close them with investors that can choose which deals that they like to invest in. So it's been great to be able to build off that and build a marketplace to be able to bring technology to what is typically a mom and pop business, to be able to give investors an opportunity to invest in deals that they would never be able to see unless they were institutional type investors.
Now, are these investors kind of working in the flip world where typically they would be investing in the home, they would be rehabbing it and then selling it again, and this enables them to kind of cherry pick the deals they want to get in on, maybe at a smaller level, but just at more scale?
Yeah, that's right. So our investors can choose which deals that they want to invest into. So we lend on all asset types, commercial, residential, multifamily, and our loan amounts are between $250,000 and about $5 million. So the investor has the opportunity to pick and choose which deals they like, and they can also determine how much they want to put into a deal. So we have typically $50,000 minimum. So if they want to invest $100,000, they can say, hey, we like this single family house in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a $500,000 loan, but we would only like to put $100,000 into it. And so it gives them the opportunity to pick and choose. And then on the other side, the borrowers, we're lending to fix and flippers, developers, to commercial guys that are buying, that just need bridge loans. They're all 1-year loans, so that may need a bridge loan in order to get the property fixed up, to get a tenant in there, to go get traditional financing.
And is this something that is only for accredited investors, or can anybody invest in this?
Right now, we're set up to only work with accredited investors. So it keeps pretty much 5 to 10 investors in each deal and no more.
And then for the listener, can you explain what an accredited investor is? Sure.
An accredited investor is somebody that besides the value of your house has income equal to or greater than $250,000 a year, or has a net worth not including their residence of over $1 million.
So if you kind of pass that test, then you are considered accredited. So then if I am that, how do I show that to you? Is there some documentation you have to see in order for me to do the deals?
Yeah, we have a third party that we use that is all streamlined. And when you go to sign up online, it walks you through those steps and the documentation we need in order to prove it.
Now, is the value, or one of the values of this marketplace, kind of the speed in which deals can get done? Because sometimes in traditional lending environments, it can be a little cumbersome.
Yep, that's right. It's pretty much one of the reasons why we started the business, just because we knew there was a lot of issues. Considering what happened in 2008, banks are just not lending. And so in order to get a loan from a traditional bank, it is a brutal, long process, and it takes between 60 and 90 days, especially if it's an investment property. I'm sure a lot of listeners have gone through the process to get an owner-occupied loan for a house that they bought, and that process is pretty cumbersome. So we saw an opportunity in the marketplace to be able to offer quick loans, underwrite quickly, and close in sometimes less than 10 days. So that's really where we're providing a lot of value to our borrowers.
And then you're kind of your background makes you kind of uniquely qualified to take on a project of this magnitude, right? You've kind of been on the other side of the table in terms of owning, managing, and developing real estate for a minute or so, right?
Yeah, so I've been in the real estate business for my entire career, and we developed a lot of grocery anchored shopping centers. We developed multifamily. We've done a lot of fix and flip. We had a fund that was buying distressed real estate for 5 years. And so I really, I've worked with a lot of banks and lenders, and we were doing a lot of construction back in 05, 06. And when 08, 09, the great crash of 08 and 09 came, and we were just working out problems with banks. I still have that memory like it happened yesterday. So in 2017, we started slowing down and lending on projects just because we felt like the market was at an all-time high. Land prices were getting really expensive, as high as they'd ever been, and construction costs were becoming uncontrollable. So we said, hey, why don't we just lend on projects that we understand? And that way we're in first position and at 60 to 70% of the actual value of the real estate. So if anything goes wrong, there's a recession or a downturn, at least we know we're still safe in first position. We can take the asset back. So that's when we started, in 2017 on a small scale. And then in 2019, I met my current business partner, Josh Lloyd, and he had exited 2 technology companies. So he had a heavy background in technology and building systems. And he was doing private lending on a small scale. And I said, look, with my real estate background and experience and your technology experience, we should be able to scale a marketplace and a business together. And that's when Yieldi was formed.
So now how do you identify the opportunities? Are they just coming into the platform and then you're kind of giving a thumbs up and thumbs down?
Yeah, so we're getting anywhere between 5 and 10 leads a day that we look at. They're coming from brokers that we work with in the industry. We've probably got 70 brokers that send us deals on a daily basis. And then we also do marketing direct to the borrower. So they're, going to our website and filling out the information on their deal, and we get leads that way. So, and we're doing some outbound calling as well. And I would say out of the 70 or 80 deals that we look at a week, we're moving forward on maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Wow, so you're being that kind of, your due diligence is pretty intense.
Yeah, we underwrite both the borrower and the property very thoroughly, because a lot of these deals are, I would say all of them, we've got a little bit of our own money in. And so the reason we started the business was to put our own money to work. And, once we realized, hey, look, this is a great opportunity for other investors to come in, friends, family, and then opening it up to the whole U.S. to be able to participate in these loans. We felt comfortable, but we wanted to kind of go through a litmus test of at least a year and a half to make sure that the business worked, and we got all the kinks out. And so now we've opened it up, and we're kind of wide open on the growth spectrum as well.
So now the accredited investor who wants to kind of play, what types of returns, like what's the range of returns they can look for? Yeah,
so our accredited investors are getting, and it depends on the deal and the risk level of the deal based on our underwriting, but they get between anywhere from a 6 to a 9% return. And that the way the company makes money is when we close deals, we get an origination fee, which is typically 1 or 2 points of the principal loan amount. And then we also make a spread on the actual interest that's collected. So if we give a developer a 9% interest rate, we're typically taking a 2% spread, 2.5% spread, and paying our investors about 7.5%.
Now,
and they get paid on we collect from the borrowers on the 1st, and we're paying our investors on the 10th of every month. Wow. So you start collecting interest immediately.
Wow. So that's, I mean, traditional lenders, they can't compete with this at all.
No, they I say traditional lenders today are really for people that do not need money. They only lend to people who really don't need it. It's and that's why this industry has gotten so large. Private lending is 51% of loans that are closed today, including owner-occupied. So the market has just grown tremendously over the last 10 years since the downturn.
Now, as a veteran in this industry, that just must blow your mind. You couldn't have ever envisioned that when you started out.
No, and it's the cost of money is getting cheaper, and so you're seeing some of these private lenders now. They're almost the size of big traditional banks when it comes to how much they're lending on a monthly volume basis, and their rates are getting competitive with traditional banks in some instances.
So now a person who wants to invest in this, they can go in, invest for 6 months or so, pull out all their money at the end of the terms of each of the loans, and then you go your separate ways. There's no harm, no foul, right? Like this, it's not like your money is locked in there indefinitely.
Correct. All of our deals are 12-month loans, so they're all short term. Sometimes we'll offer, depending on the borrower and how the property is performing, we'll offer them an extension for an additional year. So the borrower, the investor stays in the deal as long as the money's out to the borrower. So if the borrower pays the loan off in 8 months, then we will email the investor and say, hey, this loan is paid off. Here are 3 or 4 more opportunities that you can invest in that will be closing in the next 30 days, or we can send you your money back.
Now, is this something that the investors got to kind of jump on this quickly because the deals are coming in so quickly and they're being filled up so quickly?
Yeah, that's right. So everybody's looking for alternative investments today and trying to put more money into real estate and out of the stock market. And so there is a huge demand to invest in these deals. And typically when we post one on the marketplace, it gets gobbled up in 24 hours. So you do need to be kind of quick. And then typically when a deal gets paid off, we give the investors that were in that deal first priority to invest in the deals that are coming up. And so if there's leftover money in those deals for investors, then we'll post it on the marketplace and give them the opportunity.
So now are you doing loans in all 50 states or most of the U.S.?
We lend in every state but California and New York. The lending regulations are just too stringent for us there.
And then, so you started in Georgia and then have expanded pretty rapidly.
Yeah, we started in Georgia and Florida, and then we started expanding to the Carolinas and Texas and Mississippi. And now I think we have active loans in about 16 states.
Now, you mentioned brokers earlier. Can you explain how you work with brokers, and is that something that you're constantly looking for, more broker relationships?
Yes, of course. We're broker friendly. So we've got a lot of relationships with great brokers who work with borrowers on a regular basis. And we pay them a percentage of the origination points at closing for bringing us deals.
So you're looking for brokers all across the country?
Yep.
And then is that something that, like, how do the brokers even know you exist with so much competition out there nowadays?
Really, because I think we've made a name for ourselves in the industry. When we work with brokers, they see how easy our process is because of all the technology that we've implemented. So it's a completely streamlined process for the borrowers and for the brokers. As far as the documentation upload system that we've got, it makes it very easy for everyone involved. And we do what we say we're going to do, and we close very quickly. And if we like a deal, we move on it. And so they enjoy working with us because of the ease of the process. And so I feel like word gets out to the broker community, hey, these guys are active, they're good, they're detailed, and they're structured. So this process is streamlined and easy. And so we're getting a lot of repeat business and a lot of word of mouth.
And then for the investors, the deals are they happening at a fast enough pace, or are they clamoring for more?
No, we've got investors lined up looking for more deals. So we're really focused on finding great borrowers, and for us, we want to find that builder or that fix and flip guy who is doing 4 or 5 a year, and we want to be able to help them scale to do 10 or 15 a year conservatively. So we're looking for great borrowers with experience so we can grow our business and help them grow their business.
And then, so right now it's a chicken and the egg thing, right? Or you just need more of everything because it's going so well?
Yeah, I mean, we're a young company, so we're going through some growing pains, just trying to scale the business and and get more deals and also work with more investors. So it's a constant seesaw. Sometimes we've got $20 million in loans that we're closing in a week, and sometimes it's $2 million. So it's just a seesaw activity.
So if somebody wants to learn more and get onto the marketplace, where should they go?
They can go to the website. If they're an investor, they can click on the top right of the website and choose sign up, and they can sign up, and they'll start receiving newsletters, and we email out the new deal offerings as well to get them in front of people quickly. That's the easiest way for an investor to get started. And if you're a borrower looking for money, then you can sign up on the website the same way, and then we'll contact you to send your deals.
But it's one of those things, if you're thinking about this, it's probably a good idea to go through the paperwork and get kind of blessed by you guys so that when the deal comes in, you're ready to move instead of, going through the process,
Yeah, that's exactly right. I would definitely go ahead if you're interested. I mean, that way you're signed up, you get our newsletters, you get our deals, you can start looking at them, you can kind of get an idea of how we work. You can look at all the paperwork and understand it. And so you're ready to go when you find a deal or a deal passes your desk that you really like.
Well, congratulations on all the success.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And that's Yieldi, YELDI.com. Thank you, Joe, for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.